I would say the best thing that I've experienced in India is literally the people. India is super hospitable, man. Like a like an Adipoli community. The first word or first phrase that comes to mind is God's own country, because Malus and Keralites are so proud of Kerala, man. I was on the train from Calicut and I have a video, man, that's 7 seconds. But I saw it the whole way. It's filled with trash, man. I can't even walk 1 square inch without there being a chai cup or a plastic bottle or a paper plate or whatever it is, man. And like, I don't want that to be my memory of Kerala. Right now, Indian food is my favorite food in the world. India's poor. That's the, man, honestly, like, I'll be real with everybody. It's not just the one part of India we see in the media. There's actually like successful people living, you know, that good life. Indians know how to live life. That's one thing, man. It doesn't matter if you have $1, 10, or 1 rupee, 100,000 rupees, 1 crore rupees, like, Indians know how to live. Highlights of my Indian experience. I would say the best thing that I've experienced in India is literally the people. Everywhere that I go, the hospitality is just, I mean, I've only been in South India, like I can't speak for the entire country, but what I can say is like, India is super hospitable, man. Like, people care about you. People just want to have a conversation. People just want to hear your story. Like, stories here go so far, you know, like your story is probably different than my story, and his story is different than her story, and her story is different than her story, and then it's just like, man, we're all the same, but we just love so much different things, and we can all coexist. Like, that's what I love about this place is you got the engineers, the doctors, the auto rickshaw drivers, and like people are hanging out, like just like it's like a dope, like an Adipoli community. I don't know, most people probably don't know what dope means, but I always say that in my video. I'm like, this is dope. But like, I was told like Adipoli, like that's what I love about the community. It's just like random people. I might meet a doctor here and an auto rickshaw driver here and a corporation worker here. And it's like, they're all just super awesome people. So people is my favorite thing about India. What I enjoy, obviously I've been through Kerala mostly. What I enjoy is that like I can go from Wayanad, which is like tea plantations and hills, drive 1 hour and be at the Calicut beach. Get on a train for 4 hours, be in Kochi. Go even lower and be in Trivandrum in one of the hottest beaches. Go to Alapi, be in backwaters. Or I can go from being at the beach to finding backwaters, like in a matter of 20 minutes. I think that's like the coolest thing is like, for me, back at home, I live in Chattanooga, Tennessee. Like, there's no beach. Like, for me to go to the beach, I have to drive like 7 hours. If I want mountain, I have to stay in my city. If I want like California beaches, it takes me 2 days to drive. 1 flight, yeah, I can get there in 5 hours. But like here, you get like everything in one. It's so cool to be able to do that. It's bad, and the best way I can describe it is like, I was just doing the newspaper interview and I said like, the one word I can say is it's so sad. Like, people think that if they throw 1 bottle or 1 piece of paper, like, this is real. Like, you're not only affecting you, you're affecting your kids and your kids' kids, and then your grandkids are no longer going to be able to chase their passion and their purpose. Like, they have to get jobs to learn how to do disposal waste. They can't go travel the world. Why? Because they can't even go because of air pollution. I was so mind blown when one of my friends went to Delhi and he posted, it said, advisory warning, air pollution. I've never heard of that in my life. I'm 26 years old. I've never seen that. I didn't know that was like a thing. And I was just like, what does that mean? They were like, that means you don't go outside. The air is too polluted. And I was like, that's a real thing from the government? They're like, yeah. For you, that's normal life. For me, I was so shocked. And that's right after I posted the Lakiri Viewpoint video in Korombolokota up in Wynot. Like, at this point, it's like, it's not me like scolding. It's not me trying to gain like a following. Like, it's about real life, man. Like, one day, our kids won't even be able to do fun things. Like, our kids, man. And then they're gonna have kids. And they have, like, it's not about us, man. Throwing one plastic bottle, it's not about us, man. It's about the future, what's to come, how the world is gonna literally, like, repercussions, man. Every action has a reaction, and that's the bottom line. And I know I kind of just got off on like a tangent, but because of the amount of people you have here, man, it's one of the worst places. Like, I'd compare this place and like Philippines, Indonesia, Sri Lanka. Like, it's bad. Coming from where I'm coming from, you know? And that's what's so hurtful, is because I know what it's supposed to look like, and I'm experiencing the complete opposite. 1.35 billion doing the same, not everybody, of course, but the majority is doing it. It doesn't matter if you're rich, if you're poor. I've seen people driving Mercedes Benzes throwing trash out their window. I've seen an auto rickshaw drive. I've seen someone walking throw trash. It doesn't matter you're whatever you want to call it. If you're rich, if you're poor, it's like, it's just a culture, it's a habit, which is a learned behavior. And the saddest thing is, man, it's like, it's got to end. Either we end these bad habits, or these bad habits will end us as a world, man. Yeah, the first word or first phrase that comes to mind is God's own country, because Malus and Keralites are so proud of Kerala, man. That's literally how I was introduced to it. It was like, yo, it's God's own country, you gotta go see it. But now what's happening is, after I've seen such beautifulness, or such beauty, I guess you could say, and like so much amazing things, and had such good food, and saw so many good people, now what I'm feeling is this like sad feeling, like not just like, oh, I wake up, it's whatever, man, but like walking down the street, like I was on the train from Calicut, and I have a video, man, that's 7 seconds, but I saw it the whole way. It's filled with trash, man. And like, that's right now, I guess on my coming here, I was on this high, man. I'm like, man, God's own country, everything was beautiful. Then once I finally slowed down from shooting videos every day and daily vlogging for my YouTube channel, now I'm like truly feeling and seeing the real life of a Keralite and the real life of anybody living here in Kerala. And I'm noticing, like, man, like I can't even walk 1 square inch without there being a chai cup or a plastic bottle or a paper plate or whatever it is, man. And like, I don't want that to be my memory of Kerala. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want the good times, which I will never forget the good times, but we're human, man. We think of the one bad thing, but like, that's why I'm hoping that this creates a change, and this creates like just an outrage where people are like, yo, like, let's stop this, you know, like, let's quit. But God's own country, to answer your question, like, that's what I see it is. It's a positive place, it's a good place, it's good people. Every place has its problems, but it's God's own country, and I respect that. It's on my shirt. I mean, you know what I'm saying? So like, that's my one thing I can remember it as. Your strength definitely lies in how you treat people. You guys, man, like, you guys know how to treat people, whether it's like with respect, whether it's with love, whether it's like compassion. Keralites know how to treat people, and that's what I love about it. That's 100% your strength. That's number one. Number two is the food. You guys know how to cook, man. Like, I tell people all the time, like, right now, Indian food is my favorite food in the world. I've been to 10 countries just this year. I've been to more countries outside of this. And right now, like, everything has its own flavor. And it's an experience. Like, I eat with my hands. Everybody's like, oh, you eat like a true Indian now. You're a Malu, man. And I'm like, they're like, do as the Indians do. If I'm in like the Gulf countries, like, do as they do. If I'm in Italy, do as the Italians do, you know? Like, that's what is so cool about traveling, is you get to like immerse yourself in the culture. and then you get to take it on. So those are the top two things, is how you treat people and the food. And I'd say the negative is the trash, man. Like as a Western guy coming over, like that's the one thing that like would push me away. You know, if I go stay at a 5-star resort, of course, I don't see trash. There's nothing on the inside. But if I'm walking down the street, that's what everybody tries to depict India as, right? Like, you've seen the movies, man. You've seen Slumdog Millionaire. Like, that's the only, I saw that movie and a bunch of village movies from Bollywood, like settings that they use, like the villages, people falling in love, and it's like, that's not India, man. Like India's a good place. Kerala's a good place, like, but when you walk outside, and you have to step over bags and dogs and, like, I'm not, like, this is the thing, like, I know we're doing an interview, like, I'm not trying to bash India by any means, man, but like, real is real, and that's real. India as a whole, it's definitely like India's poor. That's the man, honestly, like, I'll be real with everybody. Like, when I came here, I thought India was a poor place. Like, that's what you see. You see the little homeless kids. You see the kids running around in the movies. They talk about them not having any parents, or they're like little kids living under bridges, which I'm sure is real life. Like, they're not just making this stuff up, but that's the only part of India you see coming from the West. There's no positives. Like, when I tell you, like, you see a picture, like, it's even Africa. If you see a picture from Africa, it's little poor kids living in villages with no houses, no shoes. You see pictures of little Indian kids living the same way. I got to come experience both worlds, man. Like, I got to experience the lows of the low. I got to experience the highs of the highs. Like, I got invited to an official Lamborghini tour, like, in India, man. Like, stuff I've not done in America. That's like my mind was blown, man. Like, when I got those invites, I was so surprised, like, to see that, like, wow, that's not just the one part of India we see in the media. There's actually, like, successful people living, you know, that good life, I guess you could say. But then there's people all over the world. We have the same people in America, man. I did a video actually about a week ago exposing the truth about India, if it's a poor country, man. And like, Indians know how to live life. That's one thing, man. It doesn't matter if you have $1, 10, or 1 rupee, 100,000 rupees, 1 crore rupees. Like, Indians know how to live with 1 rupee or with 1 crore. Like, you value life. That's what I realized. And, you know, if you can sustain life by having your own animals and your own food, your own crops and everything like that, life is good. Life is good. And that's what I've learned, is that, like, money doesn't matter. And that's one of my things that I set out as a New Year resolution, was chase the experience, not the money. I'm in India, man, and we're doing an interview. Like, if it gets any more awesome than that, I don't know.